This is the original Jeep, as featured in every single black and white war film you've ever seen. But it still has incredible street cred, and it's certainly the off-roader to be seen in the 90s. The Jeep Wrangler can trace its roots back to the original US Army vehicles of the 50s, and its tough looks and fantastic cross-country handling have given it a legion of dedicated followers. It's become something of an icon, and only the very brave or the very foolish try to change an icon. The first thing that you notice about the 97 Wrangler is the fact that it's almost a return to the retro looks and the styling of the old Wranglers that everybody loved so much, and of course the round headlamps are back.
Yes, they are indeed, yes. Yeah, the round headlights were on the original Willys Jeep of the 1940s and stayed on some of the CJ, the civilian Jeep series, right up until the 80s when the last Wrangler was introduced with square headlights. And
they didn't like it, did they, the purists?
They did not, no. Some of them in the States started wearing T-shirts that said real Wranglers don't have square headlights. So we've just produced some T-shirts recently that now say that real Wranglers have round headlights.
But apart from the obvious changes, which are the external changes to the vehicle, there's not an awful lot remains of the previous Wrangler, is there? Is it 77% of this vehicle is completely new?
Yeah, 77% of the vehicle is new, but as far as what you see on the vehicle from the exterior, only the doors and the tailgate remain. So looking at it outside, I think it's fair to say that it's an all-new vehicle. There's quite a lot under the skin that's changed. The bits that have been retained are items that you wouldn't really notice, bits of metalwork that are hidden under the body. But really everything you can see inside, outside and more or less underneath is new.
So what benefit is it has to the vehicle? What are the improvements?
Well, the most obvious improvement on the road has to be the introduction of coil spring suspension, very similar to that used on the larger Grand Cherokee. That certainly improves ride quality and handling. I know that the old vehicle was criticised for being at times a little bit of a bone shaker, but this one certainly doesn't have any of that. I think also it is a better looking vehicle because the windscreen here is more sloping, so it's a little bit more aerodynamic. The round headlights take a little bit of getting used to at first, but having now been used to them, I've been here for 2 weeks looking at them every day, and I just think it is so much better. It's a better headlight as well because it's bigger. The interior, where we're sitting here, is much more modern. We now have driver and passenger airbags. We have a modular dashboard which allows both left-hand drive and right-hand drive to be built at the factory. But also it's much more practical, it's more car-like. The old Wrangler had lots of sort of exposed bits and pieces inside. It had that sort of thrown together look, which some people like, but I think for everyday use this more modern dashboard and interior is much more practical and easier to live with.
In the past, Chrysler were limited to selling only 500 Jeeps a year in the UK, as they had to be converted over here, and this also meant that the margins were tight. Jeep 97 is now factory produced in right-hand drive, and because of this, you can expect them to be cheaper. The range starts with the 2.5 litre Sport version, which at £13,995 is £455 less than it was last time around. Also included is a 4 litre Sport at £15,495. And if you want a little bit of luxury in your Jeep, then why not opt for the Sahara model? This comes with glass side and rear windows, a heated rear window and also a standard removable hardtop. There are two versions in the Sahara range, a 4 litre at £17,650 and an automatic version at just over £18,000. There's a very comprehensive range on offer. So which model do Chrysler think they'll sell most of?
I think the 2.5 Sport, being very price competitive, $13,995 is a good price for a four-wheel drive. It's not just a four-wheel drive, it's a Jeep, it's the real thing. It's the most affordable Jeep in Britain. I suppose you could say it's our entry-level model. And I think that's going to prove very popular. But then again, there are those people that buy the Wrangler, tend to be people who have quite a bit of spare money. It sometimes is a second or even third vehicle, and they just want all the extras, and they pile it all on and go for the Sahara top of the range. So, but I think 2.5 Sport is going to be one of our more popular models.
The 97 Jeep Wrangler is very much about old-fashioned style and charm, combined with modern refinements. The cabin certainly offers far more comfort this time around, and also much more room, particularly with the rear bench seats, which now has an extra 20 centimetres of width. There's a new lockable glove box for improved safety, and twin airbags come as standard. But you'll be happy to know that it's still as practical as ever. After a muddy day out off-roading, there's no problem. The electronic units and seat fabrics on the Jeep are water resistant. All you need to do is take out the carpets, pull out the floor pan plugs, and you're away. Just hose the thing out and clean it down. Let's not forget, of course, that part of the fun of owning a Jeep isn't just for posing around town in it. A Jeep really comes into its own when you get it off-road. Jeep can certainly deliver the goods when it comes to off-roading. In fact, these things can probably get you to places that you don't want to go to at all. If a Jeep can't take you there, then you ought to think twice about going, was their advertising slogan of the 70s. So I think it's time to test out the latest American dream and see how it copes with the rough and rugged terrain of Cyprus.